Can you state your full name for me again?
John J. DiClemente.
And John, when were you born?
9/7/24.
1924. And did you enlist in the Second World War, or were you drafted?
Well, I tried to enlist in the Marine Corps, but they wouldn't take me because I was colorblind. Nobody would take me, but the Army says when you turn 18, we'll take you. I tried to enlist when Pearl Harbor got attacked because the whole town went and I wanted to go with them. But they turned me down. The Army says, we'll take you when you get drafted, so I had to wait till I was 18.
Was there a particular job you wanted to do in the Army?
I wanted to do maintenance work in the Army, but they, when I got in, they sent me to school, communication school, and I got my diploma from going to school. I got it around here someplace, I don't know where it is. And when I left Fort Eustis, Virginia, that's where I had my training, I went to Fort Meade, Maryland. And for further training, I had to re-qualify for sharpshooter. So when I got there, they didn't tell me where we were going. And I must have been there about a month. Then the next thing I knew, they transferred me to Camp Kilmer, New Jersey, port of embarkation, and got on the Queen Elizabeth and sailed across the Atlantic and landed in Glasgow, Scotland. Stood there a couple of days, and then they transferred me to Western-super-Mare in England, and I joined a 40mm anti-aircraft outfit. And they told me, you got 2 weeks to learn this weapon, and no ifs, ands, or buts, because you're going to become a second gunner. Anything happened to the first gunner, I took over. I never had any training on this gun. I had it on the 40mm. To make no difference, you're in a different area now. Did you ever see those 90mm?
So while you're in Scotland, is this the first time you shot the anti-aircraft gun?
I didn't have the only place I shot the anti-aircraft gun was in England. Mm-hmm. They gave me a chance to see what the gun feels like under when you ram the shells into the breech block. And during the only time we'd fire that gun, we'd be sleeping, and when they holler match pointers, everybody gets up, synchronizes all their weapons, and hook it up to radar. So all 4 guns move at the same time, and the radar will track the plane, and we'll start firing. All depends how far away it is.
What year did you land in England?
43. 1943. I got drafted in May of 43. Went to how's that Army base, Fort Devens. Mm-hmm. Stood there a couple of days until they shipped me to Virginia, 40mm outfit, and that's where I learned the communication. Until I got my diploma, then they started transferring me all over the place.
So what was the name of your anti-aircraft outfit that you joined in England?
413 AAA Gun Battalion.
Great.
We were attached to the First Army.
First Army. Mm-hmm.
I think it was mostly all First Army over there.
Yep.
Until Patton joined us up in Bastogne.
So when were you in England when you got word that you'd be crossing the Channel to fight in France eventually? They
didn't tell us anything. We didn't know anything. So we went on what they call a dry run, a make-a-believe invasion. So the good thing was make-a-believe because we screwed up crazy. So the second time we went out, I noticed they gave us ammunition, grenades, and bandoliers of ammo. And then I started to think, this must be it. So they gave us French money. Then I knew where we were going. I had an idea where we were going. Where we're going to land, I didn't know. But when we crossed the Channel, and there were 2 big battle wagons start firing their shells, we could hear them. And where they landed. As we got closer to the beach, I could see the first wave going in. We could see them getting wiped out. They were going down like candle pins. I said, shit, and I said, I got to get in that mess. But anyway, I was on the LST, landing ship tanks. The LCIs went in before us. So when we went in, we had a chance to land our equipment. The 90 millimeter weighed about 3 ton, and the tractor, M4 tractors, that weighed 4 ton. We had 4 of them to get out of the LST onto a barge. We landed on the barge. It was about the size of half of a football field. It brought us in. Once I got my feet on the ground, I felt better, because the Germans were shelling us as we were going in, because I could see the shells coming in. One landed in the front, one landed in the back. I ran like hell to the edge of the ship, the barge. If I got hit, I was going to jump in the water, because we had life preservers. A lot of them drowned because they didn't wear the life preservers right. They wore them down too low. You were supposed to wear them up here. So when you go jump in the water, you press 2 cylinders and it blows up and you're floating. That's why a lot of them got drowned and died.
What beach were you landing on? Do you know?
Omaha Beach. We were supposed to land on Utah Beach. Then they changed their minds and transferred us to Omaha Beach. It took a beating there. The guys the Rangers that climbed that Point de Hawk, that big cliff up there, they were climbing that cliff. The Germans were picking them off left and right until somebody managed to throw a grenade up on there and blew them apart. And then we got a foothold up there. But I went just a little bit right to that. Every time I see it, I see Point de Hawk. I try to see if I can see myself, but I try to find yourself in all that mess.
Now, did you have, was there a particular vehicle that towed your anti-aircraft gun?
It was the M4 tractor.
Oh, the M4, okay. Yeah.
That weighed about 2.
Is it the half track or?
No, it was a big tractor.
Big tractor?
And you hooked it up in the back of the tractor. That hauled us in and put us in a position.
Do you remember your first fire mission as an anti-aircraft gunner? I guess what I'm asking is, how soon after landing in France did you have to engage enemy planes?
Oh, within the month.
Mm-hmm.
The guy that was the gunner, he was a good gunner. He said, "You'll get your chance, John." So one night, where the hell were we? Over Liège.
Liège?
Liège, Belgium.
Okay.
We called that Buzz Bomb Alley. Yeah, I think it was there when I fired half a dozen rounds.
Wow.
Now, those shells, Christ, they're about that long.
What were you shooting at? Could you tell what kind of plane it was? Was it nighttime? Was it daytime?
It was daytime.
Mm-hmm.
Because at daytime, the Germans would drop flares. So they light up the whole neighborhood.
Oh, at nighttime, yeah.
It was nighttime.
Mm-hmm.
It had to be medium bombers because we didn't see the Spitfires at night. We saw the Spitfires during the day. I shot at them during the day, you know. And where the hell did I shoot at one at Remagen? We were trying to cross the Remagen Bridge.
Mm-hmm.
That was another big battle. And I saw this P-51 Mustang circling the area. And it kept circling the area. Then the second time it came by me, it started a nosedive. I said, that son of a bitch is going to strafe the area. So if I fired him with my .50 caliber, and when you fire a gun, everybody else fires it.
Mm-hmm.
My captain said, you realize you shot a P-51? I said, yep. He said, why did you shoot it? I said, he didn't identify himself. He said, remember when they taught us? When these planes come in, if they're friendly and they come towards you, they wave their wings. This one didn't. I said, when you go pick it up, let me know what you find in it. It was a German pilot. So they gave me credit for that. But
so when you said that you shot at Spitfires, aren't those British planes?
No, German planes.
Oh no, the Spitfire I think is the German one. The was it the ME-109?
ME-109 and ME-110.
Yeah. So,
no, wait a minute, Spitfire. That was the British planes.
Yeah.
That was the British planes. The Germans, they had the Messerschmitts.
Mm-hmm.
When we brought our 51s over, the Messerschmitts couldn't keep up with them.
Yeah.
So that's
yeah,
why
I just wanted to. I know it's hard to remember all the different names and stuff. So in Liège, did you have to shoot at buzz bombs or did you shoot at German planes?
Buzz bombs had no pilots in it.
Yeah.
When the Germans launched those things, they set them off to have so much gas in it. It keeps on going until the gas runs out. Wherever it runs out, it lands. That's what got bombed. London got bombed like hell with those buzz bombs. I mean, it knocked out a couple of 90s. Landed right in the middle of a couple of them and blew them apart. So every time they come by, we run like hell, get on the machine guns, and we use them for target practice. And we used to shoot down a lot of them. Wow. Everybody used to run like hell. Well, by then I was on the M51 quad mount. It had four synchronized machine guns, 50 calibers. Get rid of 1,000 rounds in a minute. But nowadays, Christ, they get rid of 5,000 rounds in a minute. I saw that the other day on TV.
Now, in Liège, that brings you... tell me about your participation in the Battle of the Bulge.
Oh. Where the hell were we? Luxembourg, someplace around Belgium. And we went to bed that night. Well, what I did, I stole a big army tent so my outfit could get in the tent all at once. We'd be all together to keep warm at night. Of course, it was snowing and blue blazes. And I went to bed that night, and somebody said, outgoing mail, which meant we're firing. Somebody says, no, that's incoming mail. Then we could hear the shells landing. And then we got orders through, where the hell did we get the orders from? Shortwave radio. That the Germans made a breakthrough. And then they gave us orders to pack up and get the hell out. Of course, it was cold, freezing. Trying to move a gun in the cold weather, when your hands is freezing, you can't do nothing with them. So we managed to get the hell out. And when we pulled out, by then it was morning. As we started to pull out, I could see in the field the whole U.S. Army was retreating. So why the fuck don't we stay here and fight it out with them? What the hell are we running for? That's what we're here for. But there were too many of them. They overran the position. And as we were running out, we passed this town called Malmedy and St. Vit. And there was another sign that said Bulge. Then we found out later, as we were retreating, some of the GIs got captured by the Germans. And they put them all in the field. We found out this a couple of days later. Put them all in the field and shot them all. And then the captain wanted us to take some prisoners for interrogation. Because I used my own language. There's nobody here. Says, fuck you, Captain. They see them, they're going to get shot. You see what they did to us. But then we ran across some Germans dressed as GIs that spoke English better than you and I did. Wanted to know where this outfit was, the other outfit was. We told them where it was. And then I noticed they showed their bars. The lieutenant, they dressed as lieutenants and captains and showed their bars. Our captains didn't. They hid them so they wouldn't shine in the sun. And when we found out that there were German-speaking GIs, we were on the lookout for them. So when we found out where they were, we set up a trap. And when they went by, then we had so many men on one side of the road and so many on the other side of the road, and that's how we got rid of them. Then we captured one SS trooper. We put him in a place, what we call the dungeon, a big castle. He says, did you strip him of his clothes? I said, no, he's got no weapons. He says, go down and strip him of everything, belt and all. So I want him naked. They went down there, he hung himself with his belt. That's what they wanted him for interrogation. So the hell do we know? So other than that, when we were on the run, we pulled in this big forest. I think it was the Ardennes. Ardennes or Hittingen Forest. And we dug in. We stayed there till we could get help. There was no help around no place. We were running short of ammo. It was cold, raining, sleet. My feet were freezing. I was afraid I was going to get frostbitten feet. And when we stood guard duty, I wrapped blankets around my feet because when you stand guard outside and you move around on the ice and the snow, it crackles. Yeah, I mean, you probably did that when you was a kid. I didn't want to give our position away. So somebody mentioned that we had informed the Germans drop paratroopers, so be on the lookout. What I thought was a paratrooper in the dark, I could see the silhouette. I mean, I was the only one on guard duty. There was one on the front, one on each side of the house that we were in. We were inside of a house. And what I thought was a paratrooper, I opened up on him. And went over the next day, and it was a German. I shot one, and a friend of mine on another gun shot one. And that was it. But we were stuck, oh Christ, a couple, 2 or 3 weeks before we got relieved. I mean, no planes, no ammunition, no food, no nothing. We were hunting for food. This friend of mine and I went in the woods hunting for deer, rabbits, anything we could get. For some unknown reason, he left. He left me alone. And I started panic. I said, alone in these fucking woods, who the hell's going to hear me or see me? So I managed to find my way back. And when I went to see him in the tent, I put my gun in his head. He said, next goddamn time you come hunting with me, you stay home. So I'm going to blow your fucking head off. He said, I didn't mean it. I said, forget it. That was it. So by then, it was dark, cloudy, low overcast. You couldn't see half a mile in front of you.
Did you, was there ever a time you had to use your anti-aircraft guns on the enemy infantry or vehicles, or did you always just shoot at planes with those?
No, we used it with infantry and any tank. Because our shells had high explosive. These are the ones you shoot up there, and then they explode on a timer. Then we had point detonating. They explode when they hit something. Armor piercing goes through steel. We shot an armor piercing, we split a Tiger tank in half. We shot at the bogies, those little wheels that the track goes. You shoot at them, you demolished them.
Do you remember any of the towns in Belgium you went through?
Viviers, Brussels. Because we didn't stay there too long. I mean, we crossed the Seine River from Paris into Belgium. There's so many towns we went through that
Sure.
I can't remember them.
And then after the Battle of the Bulge, did you push into Germany?
When we had the Germans on the run, I went further into Germany. I think the war was almost, by then the Germans all surrendered. And by then I wound up in Leipzig, Germany, close to the Russian border. And we had orders, we were going to go to Japan to fight the Japs. I says, Christ, we didn't even get a full order to go home, we were going to go over there. It's all right. We made orders we were going to go to Japan. And for some unknown reason, Japan surrendered. They dropped the atom bomb. I didn't even know what the hell the atom bomb was. So when they dropped that, Japan surrendered, so we didn't have to go. So from Leipzig, Germany, they put us on a truck and drove us all the way back to Marseille in France. And it's a port of embarkation. And we stood there 10 days. They put us on the ship and they sent us home. But
was there ever any times that you were under any German 88 fire?
Yeah. They were sharp. They were good. Their 88s were good. They could land the 88 in your pocket. But we dug our foxholes and hid that they couldn't see us, but they shot us with the 88s. Of course, we shot our 90s at them when they called for artillery fire. You get my battery had 4 90s, and there were 4 batteries in the battalion, so that meant 16 90s, That was the 413th. Then there was the 110th anti-aircraft outfit. That had another 16. So you figure you had 32 anti-aircraft guns.
Did you lose any friends or comrades during the war?
Yeah. One guy, that guy Jonesy that followed the captain in the Jeep, we were in the field. I walked ahead of the Jeep that Jonesy drove, and 50 feet behind me I heard a big explosion. He ran over a mine, and he got killed. And I ran right up to him. His rear end was blown apart. I gave him his last rites according to the Catholic religion, and then they came and they took him away. Then they come out with their minesweepers, combing the field to make sure there were no more mines. And another one that died, he didn't die in combat. We were in convoy, and he rode in between on the barrel of the 90. You got the 90 with the barrel like this, and the platforms would come up like this. The 90 would be right in the middle. The platforms used to stand on. So we got inside there, hanging on while we're in convoy. He says, Belcher, you're going to kill yourself. During the night, just a break of dawn, we had a bump on the road, and he bounced off the damn thing, and 5 tons of 90mm tires went over him. Of course, he got killed. And he came from Brookline, Mass. And a few others because my outfit was fully of Mississippi, Arkansas, Tennessee, all from the South. If I fought with one guy, I'd fight with them all. So I had to be careful what I did or what I said.
What's one of your best memories of World War II, you think?
I'd have to say surviving the Normandy beachhead in the Battle of the Bulge. They survived the one over the Remagen Bridge. The Germans tried to knock that bridge out, and we tried to. We couldn't do it, so the engineers built a pontoon bridge across the Rhine River. So once they put up the pontoon bridges, we crossed over because the guns were going like this. It says, those pontoons ever break, would drown. But we made it across, as I was happy to get across there. Every battle we fought when we got out of there, and I made it all right. I prayed to that guy upstairs. I made it all right.